Let's talk security. As security concerns continue to mount, innovative solutions are being explored to enhance Nigeria's defense capabilities. The military is considering engaging law-abiding citizens in the manufacture of locally fabricated arms and military-grade equipment. During a visit to troops of Operation Safe Haven in Plateau State, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, reaffirmed his commitment to ending the production and circulation of illegal arms in the country. Asukor, let me start with you. This is not the first time we're hearing about domesticating the production of military equipment. Is this long overdue?
Yes, I know we've been doing it. I think Daikon, have been manufacturing, rifles here in Nigeria. I think what the Chief of Defense Staff is actually saying is that people who have the knowledge of producing these rifles in their backyard, we are going to employ you into our, into the Nigerian army. You understand? And I think there was a time even the EFCC chairman also made that said something almost similar to all these young boys who, rather than going ahead and doing yahoo, that they can come and then we employ you for you to help the EFCC to fight corruption and cybercrime. Now this is happening in the Nigerian army. We have so many talented young boys who are out there. People are using them for them to fabricate all these guns. They can. The Nigerian, I think the Chief of Defense Staff is, opening the doors now. But he has to make that, it has to be very open and transparent when it comes to that. Because, for instance, if somebody is making gun, and you say, okay, I'm making one small toy gun, can I go and meet Nigerian army? They don't arrest the person. So you understand what I mean? Because what he's saying is that instead of you doing it and selling it illegally, will they put you in our employ? You understand? For you to be doing it for us rather than doing it outside, and selling it, you understand? Yes. So then it needs to come up with a new strategy so that anybody that has that idea, that knowledge, it does not just, go there and at the end of the day arrested. So he has to be open and transparent with that. I think that is where we want him to do, because it's a very good idea. You are trying to bring a bad egg and put him back into the system, and then so that it can help the system, and that alone would also help the system in time to even stop people from getting, these light weapons. I think it's a good idea.
Adeoye, your take on this?
Well, I think I'm quite glad, but there is a difference between theory and practice. We have had these statements for a very long time. And
even President Buhari said so.
Yes, in terms of, in fact, I think during President Olusegun Obasanjo, that one was revived for a very short time. They even manufactured some weapons at that time. That company was set up in 1964 by an act of parliament. And at that time, there were other defense corporations set up in Brazil today. I mean, at that same period. If you compare, and India, if you compare Daikon with South Africa, the defense companies in Brazil and India that we started together, it's like day and darkness. We have nothing, practically nothing to show for it. It's not as if we lack the creative energy. The problem is the political environment. There is the need for us to understand that when you are talking about national defense, the best way for you is to be able to a large extent, be able to manufacture your own military weapons. For state security, for national pride, and also for national security. Because if France sells some weapons to your Americans, they can also sell the same thing to your enemies. And if you have a quarrel or war with other countries, they can expose the secrecy of those weapons they have sold to you to the other third party. What other countries that are military mights have done is to look for assets, human assets. They may not necessarily be professors. Mikhail Kalashnikov was a truck driver mechanic. He was drafted into the Soviet army in 1938. And in 1941, when the Germans invaded Russia. He was wounded, just a mechanic. But he later on, designed Kalashnikov, one of the deadliest weapons in the world, a mechanic, for that matter. The same thing to machine gun. The first, automatic machine gun was designed by somebody who was an apparatus of a career company. And he went into this invention and was able to come out with one of the best, with almost about 600 rounds of ammunition that changed, revolutionized military warfare. So there are a lot of talents. If you go to Jos, I'm aware of this as a journalist. I've done a lot of investigative stories. Oka, Jos, Ijebu-Ode. There are weapons they manufacture in these areas. The only thing is that they sell to armed robbers. And then, I'm telling you that in Nigeria, even in Lesha, your Osun State, there are factions of AK-47. The only problem is that when you use it, after some time, it will become very hot. So what you need to do is to bring these guys together. If you can bring in Boko Haram and then indoctrinate them, bring them to, why can't you look for these people, bring them, locate them? What is happening? The police begin to chase them. They arrest them, and then sometimes collect money from them. Or even, some of them will run away. Look for them. They are creative. What is happening is that the government is, as free to tap their creative energy and use it, in the right way. And I also think that Nigerian Army should begin to think of collaboration with the Nigerian, the polytechnics, the universities, because these are centers of ideas, centers of knowledge. There must be a framework of collaboration between the Nigerian Army. That is not happening for now. If you go to our university system, University of Nigeria and Soka, Calabar, and all that, you see students that their projects, they have done a lot of designs that are waiting for people to bring. Most of these things you see.
Just small cash
yes,
for them to...
Russia, UK and all that. The products you are seeing are from the universities. Products of people in the university. So university is not just about Aluta, not just about ASU fighting federal government. We need to work out a synergy with the, academic community so that we can become a superpower as conceived by our forefathers, so that we can, it's going to earn us foreign exchange. It's going to ensure we stop importing weapons from France, UK, and all that. So we are going to save a lot of funds and to create jobs, for our country. So I'm happy.
And even crime will reduce.
Crime will reduce. So I hope that they will follow up with this.
Absolutely. If we're serious about this now, because just like we said before, President Buhari also said the same thing, and he said the government of Olusegun Obasanjo also made the same proposal or proposition. So if we're serious about this now, what level of commitment do you hope to see from government? So
the level, because the person who has said this is the Chief of Defense Staff, okay, and I want to believe now that we are talking about it on JH, he's going to start looking at, okay, what is the framework, that will bring people out from their domains or wherever they are now. Those who can, those who are already making manufacturing these light weapons, okay? And so that if somebody is there and he listens, he will say, okay, fine, where am I going to? Do I, register somewhere? Do I go to the 19th Brigade? Do I go to, where can I register myself? Because I know I can manufacture X, Y, Z. So the Chief of Defense Staff should be able to bring out that framework now. It's not just about saying it, okay? People will be willing to do this because once they are coming, it's not just for them to come and manufacture for you. You also tell them, okay, when you are doing this, you will be paid. We will house you. We will do this. We will do that. It's not just, you understand? So that they don't go back to crime. So he has to sit down to see how this can work. Because we need our youths or those who are manufacturing these things to put them into the system rather than them using it against the system, because that is what they are doing. So it's a good idea, but just like you're saying, it's not just about talking, it's about implementing it.
All right, gentlemen, let's move on.